Well, hello, my beautiful crypto people. Can you believe it? The day is finally here. We finally did it. Bitcoin breaks 100K during the Asia session today, and this is a day to celebrate. Whether you are new in crypto and you are just arriving recently, or you've been here through the really hard times, today is a day that will go down in history and one that we will never forget. So big congratulations to everyone in crypto today. Remember this time, because when times get tough, and they will, these are the times that we have to remember, because these are the times that make it all worth it. So let's take a look at some reasons as to why Bitcoin broke through 100K today. I'm just going to flick to some news charts and let's take a look at this. So we've got here, let me just, move this out of my way so I can see. We've got Bitcoin hits 100K. Why the Bitcoin price hit a new all-time high? In this article, it says the break above 100K came just hours after President-elect Donald Trump announced former SEC Commissioner and co-chair of the Digital Chambers Token Alliance, Paul Atkins, I don't know if I said that right, as Gensler's replacement at the top of the SEC. We also have the rest of the administration shaping up as the most pro-crypto ever, with Trump also nominating 𝗖𝗵𝗶𝗃 founder 𝗧𝗿𝗵𝗃𝗲 as the Secretary of Treasury. So this is amazing news for crypto. Everybody is super excited about this. There is other things that we need to be concerned about. For example, Mt. Gox has moved 2.4 billion in Bitcoin in just after Bitcoin surges past 100K. So this was here, the collapsed crypto exchange Mt. Gox moved over 24,000 Bitcoin worth nearly 2.5 billion to an unknown address after the cryptocurrency hit a milestone of $100,000. Now, is this a big concern? When you take a look at Bitcoin daily trading volume right here, today, for example, we're at 125 billion. So whilst articles like this sound like, 2.4 billion is a really huge number, when you have a look at our daily trading volume, it's very clear that the market can absorb something like that. So I don't see this as a big thing to worry about. And, it's just something to be aware of, but shouldn't cause a very massive move in the market. To be honest, I think that the market has probably priced it in anyway. So I also posted this on Twitter the other day, where I was talking about the leverage. Now, leverage is a big discussion at the moment because we know that the funding rates are super high. We know the leverage is super high. And as a result, everybody expecting a really big flush out. So this is something that I posted on Twitter earlier this week. And I'm basically saying here that yes, a leverage flush out is going to come sooner or later. But the way that I personally feel about it is, if you have been in crypto a while, if you are an aggressive trader or an aggressive investor and you were accumulating your altcoins in the accumulation range, then a really big leverage flush out is likely just to create a higher low. And a higher low is just going to prove the current trend. So with a lot of your altcoins right now, you'll probably find that they're literally just straight up in just one straight line. So the trend isn't proven until the market structure actually changes. We've only hit point one being that we've got the higher high. Okay, great. But the trend is proven to be changed when that follows with a higher low. And a leverage flush out might actually give that to us. Berry is an example of a trade that we shared in Discord for our Capital Club members. And you can see here that, as an example, we were up at 300% at the time that I posted this particular chart. Now, if we were to have a big 40% leverage flush out, like let's just say worst case scenario, it's 40%, that on a coin like this, for example, will really only come back to retest its previous high, and essentially it will create a higher low. So it's actually not a terrible thing. If we have a leverage flush out, of course it depends where you personally started buying in, but if you've been following this channel for a while, you probably have been in for quite some time, and most of your portfolio is going to be able to withstand it, especially if your portfolio is spot. So By the way, if you have been following this channel for a while, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. We're on a mission to try and get us to 50K subscribers. I'll show you that a little bit later. We're very, very close. But if we can hit 50K on the day that Bitcoin hits 100K, that's just going to be an epic milestone. So moving on from this, what have I got for you next? Let's have a look at how everybody is celebrating Bitcoin breaking 100K today. The president of El Salvador flexing his wallet balance, or El Salvador's wallet balance. How awesome for him. You know, he copped it a lot back in the day when they thought it was a terrible idea, and here he is proving it wasn't. We've got Michael Saylor showing the 100K party, and this post here from Brian Armstrong gives a very, very good reason as to why Bitcoin is the better investment. He says if you bought $100 worth of Bitcoin when Coinbase was founded in 2012, it would now be worth about $1.5 million. If you kept the $100 instead, you'd be able to purchase about $73 worth of goods today. So Bitcoin is the best performing asset of the last 12 years, and it's still early days. Every government, especially those looking to create a hedge against inflation, should create a Bitcoin strategic reserve. So big congratulations to everyone hitting 100K Bitcoin today. And so speaking of which, this is our live count currently for this channel. We are on 49,644 subscribers. So if you are not subscribed, consider subscribing. Let's try and we probably won't get over it on this live stream, but you know, hopefully within 24 hours after this live stream, we will hit that 50K, and it will just be absolutely monumental for this channel. So appreciate all your support. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, and also share it around, you know, if you think your friends can get value from this. Now, what do I want to show you next? Let me see here. Oh, okay. So let's talk about what is going to change next, actually. So we've got here from Bitcoin Archive, from now on, we only count in 5K increments. 1K Bitcoin announcements are cringe. Actually, that makes me laugh because that did happen today when I posted on my Twitter, I posted 100K. And I had just woken up because the move happened during the Asia session. I'm in Dubai, so it happened whilst I was sleeping. And I woke up and Bitcoin was 103, but I posted a photo of Bitcoin at 100. And somebody was like, oh, I can tell you're just waking up, as if like you're too late because it's 3K higher. But it's true. It's like now it's not. We're in 5K increments. We don't care if it's 101, 102, 103. It doesn't matter. We're in 5K increments. And Jacob here also says the pace that Bitcoin will move now will be in $10,000 moves. You need to start to reframe your perspective. It's going to get weird, and it absolutely is going to get weird. So let's take a look at Bitcoin, and I'm going to go over my last stream to talk about exactly where the entry was that I mentioned to you to watch out for those that needed a new position or were looking for a short-term leverage trade position. I haven't changed this chart at all. I will refresh it, but I haven't changed it because I wanted to just quickly first show you exactly what we were talking about on that video and how it ended up playing out. So at the time, we had this symmetrical triangle kind of happening here, and I explained to you two scenarios that could happen. One being that we come down for another touch to the trend line, create a higher low, and if we were to do that, we would expect a breakout to the upside next. The other one would be that we create a lower high, and if we created the lower high, that would signal weakness where we would expect a break to the downside next. So I told you to be open to both options because it wasn't clear which way we might break out at the time. And this candle right here is what I want to point out to you because it was the most perfect signal for an entry. I posted this in my Discord at the time, time where I said this wick into the liquidation level that came with speed and closed back up in the triangle and then gave a higher low is the kind of thing that I would look for to take an aggressive long entry within the triangle. And what I'm talking about there specifically is this green candle right here. So when I said it came with speed, notice that it's green. That means there was a high volume increase in that candle in comparison to the average of the prior 10 candles. So that's very significant, especially when it's off a trend line and it ends up creating the higher low. In addition to that, if I zoom in on this, you'll be able to see very clearly, these are old liquidation levels that I had on the chart at the time that I've kept there to show you for this video. And you'll notice here that we had $115 million worth of liquidations if the price just returned to this top one. And this wick spiked right into it and took them out. That is exactly how the market maker works. One tiny little spike to grab the lowest hanging fruit, the closest leverage available, will help them liquidate retail traders, but also build their own positions so that they can build the speed and the strength and the power that they need to make the next move in the opposite direction. So as we talked about on this channel throughout the last couple of weeks, we knew there was a really big sell wall at 100K. That's why we consolidated for so long. The market maker needed to build their positions in order to build enough power and strength to be able to break right through those 100K orders, which was this red box right here. And you can see that came with a very, very strong volume. So this was the perfect act of the market maker. You know, everything played out exactly as we expected. And if you understand the TBD system, you would understand that that right there was the exact signal to go long for those that needed a new long position. Let me have a look in the chats here quickly. Jacob is the GOAT, been following him for ages. Yes, for those that don't know, Jacob was one of my original mentors. So massive respect to Jacob. And we will be planning a live stream together soon. So keep your eyes out for that. Hello from Toronto. Guys, tell me where you're from. Actually, I'm very interested to know. I am streaming. I worked it out. It's nighttime in Australia right now. It is morning in the UK. I forgot what time it is I forgot what time it is in the US, but it's not good for you US people. I'm sorry, you guys can watch this once you wake up. But my UK people, region people, my Aussie people, you guys should be here. Let me know where you're from in the chat. And also, guys, by the way, if you're looking to get all of this ahead of time, you know, instead of waiting for my updates and things like that on YouTube, get yourself into the Discord. It's really very simple. If you are looking for an exchange to trade on, I would highly recommend Bitunix exchange right here. They can leverage trade, you can spot trade, everything that you want. It's non-KYC, so you can use this exchange anywhere in the world. And also, if you use the link in the description of this video, you will get a 25% trading fee rebate for life, which really does help you save on fees with your trades. But in addition to that, it does also get you access to our free side of our Discord. And in that free side, you would still also be able to access this sort of information. So, you know, if you want just that little bit extra, you know, when I tell you to watch something on YouTube, if you kind of want to hear when I'm saying, hey guys, this is the time, this is the thing that I was talking about, then you all you need to do is use that Bitunix link, create and fund your account, and then in the description of this video, you'll find the instructions that will give you access to the Discord. Now, what else have we got going on that I wanted to show you? Actually, I think what I want to show you is, no, I don't want to show you that. This week's news events. Let me go back here. On the 15-minute time frame, just some things that we need to be aware of now that we've broken the 100K. We want to, you know, we would expect that there will be some sort of a retracement, but we want to be a little bit careful now because we do have some news events coming up. Tonight, for example, we have the unemployment claims that will be happening towards the end of the UK session in a couple of hours' time. But the other one that's quite important is actually tomorrow, which is the average hourly earnings. That will be happening tomorrow towards the end of the UK session. session as well. So again, you know, these are the sorts of things that you have to now start to pay attention to. And the reason that you have to start to pay attention to these news events is because they are likely to be used as the excuse to give us a pullback, okay? To give us the liquidation kind of leverage wipeout that we're all expecting, or hopefully we're all expecting it, because we are getting super high in those funding rates, which I wanted to show you here. So if you have a look at this, you can see, look, we're up in the 0.1 to like 0.2 kind of region. You know, that is really getting up there. Now, oh, wait, you can't see that, but you can trust me because my face is in the way. Oh, here you go. You can see it here on this side. Okay, so the thing is, I don't use funding rates alone personally. So funding rates can get overheated, especially in this sort of market dynamic that we have going on. Guys, I can see so many thumbs up. I really appreciate it. If you're liking this video, big thank you to you, because, you know, just even a simple like on the video or a simple comment just lets YouTube know that this is content you're enjoying, and then YouTube sends it to more people. So thank you for doing that. Yeah, back to this. So I personally don't look at this alone. I look at this in combination with open interest. And the reason that I look at this in combination with open interest is because when you have both, so when you have open interest sort of starting to peak and you have the high funding rates, that's when you get the leverage flush out. So it's not really just one or the other. And so therefore I wanted to show you this open interest to show you an example. You can see here we're currently, let me just move this out of the way. We're currently getting up to about 95. Now, 95 to 140K are the levels that I watch, okay? And 95 is not terrible. It really depends on where the volume, how much volume is coming in. When there's not a huge amount of volume, 95 is kind of the region. But when we have huge volume, we can get up to 140 before we get that leverage wipeout. So it really, yeah, it's not a flat number that you need to look for. You need to think about, is there a lot of volume in the market? Is there a lot of participants? If there's a lot, you go higher. If there's not that many, you know, not a lot of interest, you go a little bit lower. But I want to show you, because now we're at the 95. If we have a look here and we zoom out on this, prior times we were at the 95 was here, and this is where we had this pullback through here, right? What's another one? Here as well. We had, can you guys see that? I'll move it this way. Here as well. So we got up around that 95, and then we had this little wipeout here as well. So we are starting to get up there. Not saying it's going to happen because we're at 95. Like I'm pretty sure we're at 95 right now. Yeah, we're at 95 right now. So it may not happen immediately, but again, just remember these things tend to happen on news events. So keep an eye on the news events. Keep an eye on that open interest. It may climb a little bit higher because there is high volume in the market. And also just keep an eye on the funding rates. Again, like I said, I don't think a leverage flush out is anything to worry about at this point in time. It's just something we need to be aware of. And if you're short-term trading, for example, if you did take this entry, then you have to consider taking profits, okay? Or taking partial profits or something like that. But if you're long-term, if you've been long on Bitcoin for quite some time, or your altcoins for quite some time, you can probably handle going through that little bit of a leverage flush out. You know, you have your higher low area. You either add to your positions there if you're still trying to get money into the market, or you're just riding the macro trends on that. So I'm going to remove all of this now because I want to refresh it to see where the new leverage is. And sometimes when I load this on another computer, I can't undo it all on this computer. So anyway, that's a bit annoying, but here we are. So let's have a look at what's going on now. And yeah, so look, see all this leverage that is here? This is all long leverage, right? Because it's below the current price. And this is all your breakout traders. So as soon as we broke out of this triangle right here, your breakout traders went in long positions. They went in on high leverage. And if we were to reverse and just come back to retest the triangle, and they didn't close their positions, they would get wiped out. The other thing to take note of is have a look at these numbers here. So you'll normally these numbers will sit at around 100 million, like 100, you know, maybe 150, maybe 200 million. That's kind of normal. Look at these numbers: 459, 391, 461, 459, 459, 461. Massive leverage came in on that breakout. Massive. So, you know, I don't know, is that the smartest thing in the world to do? I'm not so sure. But if these people don't protect their trades, don't either take profit or move their stop loss, any retracement, which may happen fast, because don't forget the fast move up is the false move. And so, you know, for example, we could, I'm not saying this will happen, but it could happen that we build a BART here and then we have a fast move down and take them out unexpectedly. That is, you know, that's at risk at happening if those funding rates continue to be massively overheated and that open interest keeps rising. So definitely be very, very careful. If you got this, it's a good trade. When you see price move into consolidation afterwards, that is somewhere that you manage your trade, meaning you move your stop loss into profit and you consider taking partial profit. That way, if it does swing back around on you, you can't lose anything. So that's what I would do if I was the person who took the trade out here. But we do have some leverage above. It actually, we have, you know, whilst a lot of people shorted, and I do have friends that were telling me their Korean trader friends massively shorted. And, you know, Korean traders, if you don't know, they are wild traders. Like it's my dream to go to Korea and trade with the Korean traders just to learn how they do it, because they are wild, high leverage, small moves. Like I honestly don't understand how they do it. And they just keep going. It's not, I would just love to be in the room to see how they do it and learn. Not that I would want to do it that way, but just to understand even better, because it would help me even more understand the market makers traps, because I'm sure that those Korean traders are their target. But anyway, point being, you know, there are people who are shorting this, but it's not as high. If you have a look at these numbers here, you can see, you know, we've got what is normal. What I said to you is normal, between 100 to 150, sometimes up to 200. That's what's happening through here. So they're, you know, they are providing the liquidity for us to keep going higher. And if that's what the price wants to do, the liquidity is available for it to happen. But, you know, look, what I do like about the current price is that we haven't spiked up into a key level and then had like a stop hunt move and started a rejection. So that's actually a pretty good sign so far. The fact that we're consolidating at around 102, that's pretty good. So, you know, I'd be looking for you obviously need a lot more time, because this is a 4-hour time frame. And when you look at how long this this flag here, for example, took, you know, it took 13 days, right? So remember, the higher time frame we're on, the more time you need to give consolidation to happen. But if this were to consolidate as a bull flag, a wedge, you know, just consolidation straight sideways, something like that, then we may get even further move to the upside into this zone. However, if we were to start to retrace, so start to move down like this, then we came to repeat the level but only created a lower high, that's where we might start to see some weakness. And if you were to see that, it would be a very good area to take a little bit more profit, because a lower high after this high signaling weakness might give you a hint that they're going to come down and take this leverage before they then make their next move. So eventually we're going up, you know, eventually we're going up. Who cares? I don't think it's a smart idea to short this market. You know, I've said this for a long time. Yes, there will be shorts that give you really good risk rewards, but they're going to be a needle in a haystack. And if you're trying to catch them, you're probably going to get 5 to 7 wrong before you get one right. So this really is the time to practice extreme patience. And when the price does retrace, just let it happen, let that play out, and just keep your mind focused on getting the best next long entry. Okay, so I showed you this week's news events. So speaking of trades, you know, once again, get yourself into Bitunix if you want to take this trade, because I have got a potential new opportunity for you guys. And I'm going to show you what may be the next, what do I want to show you here? What may be the next big mover. Even though it's been a big mover already, there may be an opportunity coming up in this. And so I am, of course, talking about Dogecoin. And the reason for that is this Bit Mining saw a 3x profits in mining Doge and Litecoin instead of just Bitcoin. So they've moved to mine proof of work coins such as Doge and Litecoin. It's been far more profitable for them. The company said it's up until November 27. It had mined that number worth of Doge. I'm not going to read it all, but that's worth 94.8 million and LTC worth 10.7 million. So that's one good thing for Doge. The other thing too is this analyst here, or is it down here somewhere? I saw him. Analysts like Professor Astrones believe Doge could soon end its consolidation phase. Well, he's a little bit behind because it's already done that. But anyway, and start moving towards $1. Beyond that, he projects the coin could hit $3 to $5 very easily in 2025. It is definitely an ambitious goal. I tend to not make such, large predictions because people tend to get married to price, and then when it doesn't go there, they become bag holders. So I prefer to make predictions based on time, like when in the cycle the timing is about heading into us, to the cycle being over or a cycle starting or something like that. I think that's a much more accurate way to manage portfolios than trying to aim for a price. So when we see things like this, we have to consider the Doge price. And this is something that I wanted to show you because Doge right now, whilst it's had this massive move up right now, it's starting to form this formation here. Now, this formation is a rising bearish wedge. So it's actually a bearish formation. And what that could mean, if this continues to create this formation, people are saying it's consolidating. I personally don't believe it's consolidating. I think it's in this rising bearish wedge, which means that what will follow through by the time, it's done what it needs to do in this wedge here, it is likely that it breaks down from the wedge. Now, if we get all of that, that's actually going to be your opportunity to buy. And so the reason that I have my eye on this is because I accidentally sold all my Doge, as you guys know. So I kind of need an entry myself. But if this does play out this way, we know the things that we're looking for. We've got the rising open interest. We've got the overheated funding rates. We're expecting that eventually there will be a correction. And so if that correction leads to this formation actually playing out, we could end up having a pretty decent retracement on Doge and having a good chance to get in on it, which I would take as a spot trade or an extremely low leverage long-term trade. Being the daily time frame, I'm not looking to short-term trade Doge. So let me just add this heat map to see if we have high liquidity below price, because that's going to give us an idea where to look out for potential targets if we do get it. Now, immediately what stands out to me is this area right here. I'm probably going to say around here would be my ideal area of interest. And the reason is, so that, where is that? That is between 0.32 to 0.35347, let's say. And the reason for that is because by the time all of this plays out, if it does play out, then the 50 EMA, which is this blue one, will start to flatten out like this as well. So that could actually end up being a very good entry where we break down, we wipe out this highest level of leverage here that you can see in yellow, we line up with a 50 EMA. If we get a strong bounce there, that could be, all we do. Now, what would that actually be in terms of percentage? That'd be a 28% drop. Great. So that's what I would personally keep my eyes on. It's not an automatic buy from me. I have to wait, to see if price actually does enter that zone. Then I will reassess the price action. I will make sure that I'm seeing a bounce. I'm seeing some buyer strength come in at that level. And then that's when I would take action on that one. Now, the last thing I want to show you, is it the last thing? Yes, it's the last thing I want to show you before I potentially have a look at some of your requests, if you happen to have any, is I want to just quickly go through the dominances, because we know that we've got that those funding rates overheating, and the other thing, what's the other thing? The open interest. Smash a like button if you like how I always lose my train of thought. But here we go with the Bitcoin dominance. We were hoping that we were going to get lower heights. It's not too late. It's not too late. But it also may not happen, because if you have a look back at last cycles, and I might show you this on another video because I haven't prepped the information. But if you have a look at past cycles, once alt season starts, the Bitcoin dominance just tends to dive. It just tends to go down, and it just keeps going down. So we may not necessarily get a nice change in market structure to give us a good hint that things have changed. So it may just keep going from here, but what we do have currently is a little bit of a bounce happening as Bitcoin breaks 100K. That is natural. So we really just want to see where this bounce ends up taking us. And this bounce may cause your altcoins again to pull back soon, which will just reset everything. So it's all actually great news if it does happen. And I'm really not too worried about it. But yeah, keep an eye on your Bitcoin dominance in case it keeps rising. The USDT dominance is breaking support just. So this is fantastic, because it shows us that we're not moving into stablecoin, right? So we're not risk off. We're happy to be risk on right now. Everybody's FOMOing into the market. So great. Let the USD dominance continue to break support after support. That is fantastic for crypto in general. And then when we have a look here at the total, excluding the top 10, we're still waiting to see now if we get this resistance retest. So again, all of this is on the daily time frame, so it may take time. And if it does actually happen, guys, it could turn out that it's a possible couple of week pullback as well. That's another thing I want to make you aware of. I don't think you would have to rush in to buy dips. I don't. And if my mind changes on that, of course I will tell you. But just the very fact that everything I'm showing you is on the daily time frame, you then have to start to think, well, how long is it going to take? Because every day is only one candle. So, if one candle was to come down to retest, that's actually pretty scary, because you would then need to wait for consolidation, which could then take a week or two anyway. Or we trickle down, which again, you need 14 candles to trickle down. So yeah, it could be a couple week thing. And I don't think that we're going to have to rush to do buys. Now, just know that a leverage wipeout can happen suddenly if we get it soon. So if it were to happen suddenly, the initial move will be fast. However, we'll consolidate after that. As people wait, they'll sit on their hands. They're waiting to see, is the damage done? Is it safe for me to get back in? And in everybody sitting on their hands, price goes nowhere. So whichever way it happens, there will be time, in my opinion, for you to make smart decisions. I don't think you have to FOMO into anything if it does happen. So let me have a look at, do you guys have any altcoins that you want me to have a look at? You can leave it in the chat. And really, because prices move so much, it's probably not so much about me giving you entries. It's probably more about me just showing you where the liquidity is. I think that might be the smartest thing to do, because if we end up getting pullbacks eventually, the liquidity would be your targets to look for long positions. So hopefully that's what you guys want me to do. Leave a comment now and I'll go through and see what I can see. Oh, wow. You guys have left tons of comments. Thank you so much. What is going on here? Let me have a look. Where's the boss? Who's the boss? It's not me, right? Okay, let me go down. Oh my goodness. You guys are crazy today. Okay, you know what? Let's start with, is this the first day no one's asked for Solana? No, Sayed asked for Solana. All right. I'm like, what? That's not normal. Okay, let's have a look at Solana, because this is something that I just posted in my Discord actually. And there could be an opportunity on this soon. However, again, whoops, didn't mean that. Again, we have to be careful. I would personally only take this if I saw this opportunity. I would personally only take it as a spot trade because of those funding rates. And this, again, this is the 4-hour time frame for Solana. So yeah, sure, it might break out. And trade what you see, number one. Don't worry about funding rates and all that other stuff. Just be aware of it, but trade what you see, number one. And number two, I just think because of those funding rates, it might be a little bit dangerous to be opening new leverage trades right now. But spot is long-term, and we're in this part of the cycle where you can be wrong and eventually you'll be right, you know? So it doesn't take the smartest person right now. But what I love about Solana, I'll just tell you what I love about it on the 4-hour time frame, is that we are in this wedge currently. I like the wicks to the bottom of the candles every time we've come to the support of it. And I really do love that this high volume candle right here bounced off the 200 EMA. All of these things, when I'm high time frame trading, they're very good signs to me. At the same time, I have to tell you what I don't like, which may become invalid soon, but I'm going to point it out anyway, is that at the same time as all of this being positive, these candles here are very wicky to the top. So, you know, it was a risk to get in prior to now. It's probably a risk that's going to pay off, I think. However, now we have a breakout of the wedge, and you know, this closure, it's got 2 hours to go, but if this closes above the 50 EMA, there's a potential for an entry there. You could even drop down to a smaller time frame and see, you know, maybe if the 1 hour is closing above a key EMA. Let's have a look. So the 1 hour at this point in time is a bit of a worry to me as well. Actually, let me just change my settings on this. Sorry, I've got way too many things here that become confusing. I only want to see 1 day high and low. Okay, so yeah, if this 1 hour closes as, say, you know, a bullish candle, it's going to close at the initial high of the day. That's not really where you take a long position. That's like taking a long at resistance. It's not that clever. So with Sol, you probably, you know, you've missed the best entry, but that doesn't mean you've missed any entry. If you're lucky enough, we'll break through the initial high of the day as well as yesterday's high of the day, which is this week right here. And then we'll come back to retest. And that would mean that you could get a pretty good entry at that point, just up to the high of the week initially, you know, reassess the high of the week. The reason why I say it could be good is because let's just say you were lucky enough to get a retest of the initial high of the day. Your stop loss, just depending on whether or not there are any wicks on this retest, so hard for me to tell because the wicks don't exist yet, but your stop loss could just be under any wick that wicked below the initial high of the day, and then your take profit would be back at the high of the week, which is 257, and that could end up being a 6-to-1 risk to reward trade, which is a pretty decent trade. So, you know, again, depending on where your stop loss ends up needing to be. So that would be what I would be looking for on Solana, because the higher time frame shows me a wedge potentially breaking out, and the lower time frame shows me that it's looking like it wants to break that initial high of the day, but it hasn't done it yet. So the condition is that it has to do it, okay? What else have we got? JASMY. Now, JASMY, we took that trade and we finished it yesterday. Let me see. Where do I have that trade? JASMY, here. So this was another trade we did in the Discord. Now, again, guys, if you're not in our Discord, it doesn't make any sense why you're not in our Discord, because these are the types of moves that you can get, and they're pretty massive risk to rewards. And it's simple. Just join Bitunix, link in the description, get your trading fee rebate so it's cheaper, get access to the free side. Like, I'm not going to tell anyone to join a paid membership right now because Black Friday sales ended yesterday. So I assume if you had any interest in getting into our full membership system, you would have done it in the last few days. So don't worry about that. But if you want to at least take your first step and come into the free side, you still get access to a lot of these trades, that a lot of my setups I post in one channel, and you get access to that channel. So this was a trade we took. It was a higher time frame trade. I actually tested my community with this trade because a lot of us are day traders. We're short-term traders. We don't tend to hold trades for longer than 3 days. But I saw this setup and I knew that it was going to be a long time frame trade. And so I wanted to test and see how long you guys would hold it with me. And I think it ended up being, let me see, from here to here. It was a 27-day trade. And a lot of you actually did take and hold that trade. So well done. We're out of it now. You know, we had three, well, I'm out of it. Probably have bag holders that are still holding it. And if you did, great, because it's still going. But I had my 3 take profits and they hit. Now, when something is a trade for me, that's it. Once it hits my final take profit, I'm done with it. Collect the money, move on, go look for something else. I'm never someone who would look at this and go, oh, but it kept going and I could have made so much more. That's really dangerous for your mindset. It kept going, great, whatever. So, you know, one thing you can do is take 90% profit and leave 10% to let it run, move your stop loss into profit. That's something you could do on a trade. But for me, I just wanted to collect. So I collected. I'm happy with this. Can't tell you what to do now. Would absolutely not enter now. But I will tell you that when the candles go from green in an uptrend to blue, the steam is running out. Now, the steam can run out only temporarily. That's what you need to know. And if it runs out temporarily, it moves into consolidation. Or it can just run out. And if it runs out, we move into a retracement. So if you are still holding JASMY from the community, I would absolutely consider getting ready to take some profit. Have a look at it on lower time frames. Start to look for weakness on your lower time frames and, you know, make that decision. But let's zoom out on this to see if we can find some sort of a target. Where am I going to here? So it looks like we're heading towards the 100%, which is at about 0.055. So, you know, look, to me, it's close enough. But if you really want to stretch it, that's definitely going to be your area of interest, somewhere around there, 0.53 to 0.57. Do we have heat maps for this one? Let me just check. I accidentally closed my JASMY with my fat sausage fingers. Well, you know, oh, do you mean before it took off? I assume you mean before it took off because, you know, if you got profit, it really doesn't matter. Now, what was I doing? Oh, it doesn't have it. We don't have leverage levels, so we're a little bit blind on it. But yeah, look, you have to make the decision. Is it worth trying to push it that little bit more, or are you happy? Because this trade, if you're in it right now, it's a 16-to-1 risk to reward. It's a huge trade. So please don't get greedy. Like, I know that that's something that's going to start happening in this cycle where we think we've got an entry and we think it's going to go forever. And then, you know, bang. Because let's look at this, where it is now. Let's just say, as an example, we get our leverage flush out right now while we're on this stream, and it pulls back 40%, right? 40%, let's say, worst case. Look at all that unrealized profit you're going to give back. So yeah, when you're taking a trade, it's a trade. When it hits your final take profit, take the money, right? It's so good for your mindset when you collect your profits. So yeah, be careful if you are still in this trade. Absolutely continue moving up your stop loss. What else have you guys got here? Hey, Gabby, how are you? Gabby's on the stream, guys. Gabby is on the LOC, Lab of Crypto channel. I definitely recommend you guys go check her out. Her TA is amazing, and I don't say that about many people, and you guys know that. She's really good, so highly recommend. Go check her out. What else have we got here? I'm going to do 𝗶𝗶𝗃 because a lot of the thing about meme coins is a lot of them, well, actually, I correct myself. The thing about the major meme coins is a lot of them tend to create the same pattern. And actually, I'm going to say something you're not going to believe because of this channel who hates retail trading. The high volume meme coins tend to follow traditional technical analysis very well. So if you know how to trade flags and what else, wedges and, you know, things like that, they're actually very easy to trade. So I'm going to look at them because, what did you want me to look at? 𝗶𝗶𝗃. We'll see on the higher time frame what I kind of mean. Now, I don't love the 𝗶𝗃 price action currently because let me draw it out so you can see. So we've moved down through here, right? And we've broken out, but because this wedge didn't retrace very far, in an ideal world, I would have liked it to retrace to the 50 EMA, because then you would have had a much better risk to reward trade. As an example, if you took it off the 50 EMA, whoop, that's the wrong tool. 1 second. If you took it off the 50, and it's the same tool, I was right. You know, your target of a flag breakout is back to the beginning of the flag. And if I do it to the candle close, you know, that's kind of the best that you can get out of it. It's what? It's a 4.5 to 1 risk reward. It's not bad, but it's not amazing, you know. So I would have liked it to retrace further, and that's why this breakout, it's not all that exciting, because look, the resistance, which it's already hit once, it's very close. It's very close. So, you know, what can I say? Not this one, not this one. But what was another one that was looking good? Was it WIF? So WIF has done the same. See, broken out and just gone sideways. What else is there? What did Floki do? Floki is a little bit better. That's had a bit more of a decent retracement. So that one looks okay. No, looked at that one. That's kind of it. Okay, what else do you want? Ondo. All right, let me just go into where most of these are. Okay, so for this, we're just looking at targets, because obviously there is nowhere to get in. And let's see, do we have heat maps for Ondo? By the way, this data, guys, it comes from HighBlock. So, and HighBlock has a lot more than just this data, but they do have a Black Friday sale on at the moment. There is a link in the description of the video. I don't get anything for it. It's just there to direct you to the right page. But, you know, it has a hell of a lot more tools than just liquidation data. One thing, actually, before I get back to Ondo, is this is one thing I've been playing around with in particular, just having a look at this is for Bitcoin, having a look at the buy volume, funding rate, the net longs and shorts, delta, open interest, whale versus retail, and sell volume. So these are 3 things I'm monitoring right now. When they get to the yellow zone, we're peaking. So look, the buy volume is peaking. The buy volume is the one up here. Oh, can you guys... You might not be able to see that exactly, but you can just trust me. Actually, let me just bring it down so that you can you see it? No. Anyway, I'll have to fix the settings on it later, but you can just trust me that the buy volume currently is very high for Bitcoin, as well as the sell volume, meaning people are trying to short what they believe is the top. The funding rate is heading towards high, but it has room to go. And the net shorts and longs is kind of peaking as well. Open interest is peaking, and the whale versus retail shows that whales are behind this move. So all of those things just be very careful of, because yeah, the time is going to come for a pullback. Not saying it's today, I don't know. We have to manage the price action in order to get that hint. And all I can say to you is it doesn't even matter when it comes, because like I've said to you shouldn't be shorting. So it doesn't matter trying to pick when it comes. What you should be doing is managing your long positions, knowing that it's coming. All you're doing is moving your stop losses on your leverage trade. You're just moving them up to protect your profit. As an example, let me show you just for people who might be new here and never have had to do this. Let's just say you're in this Ondo. I swear to God, this looks like I have it the wrong way around and it's throwing me off, but it's not. You know, originally this would be your trade and your stop loss would be here under the previous structure, right? Now, when you are in this much profit, but you want to let it keep riding, you move your stop loss under previous consolidation. So say under here, you would move it initially, you would move it through there. And you simply just do that by going to the exchange that you're trading on, editing the stop loss and changing the price. That's it. And that will move it up. On the Bitunix exchange, it's absolutely fabulous, because they not only on the chart, not only do they show you where your entry, stop loss, take, everybody does that, so it's nothing amazing, but they also show you your liquidation level, which is really, really good, because it helps you to make sure that your stop loss is above your liquidation level in the case of a long, but also it helps you make sure that you haven't chosen too high a leverage. So, yeah, so that's why I like trading on that exchange. But even on this, you know, if you wanted it as a long-term trade, you could do a couple of things. You could move it under the last wick low, because if we have a big wick in a candle like that, the reason for that is because they've spiked into that zone for a reason and then moved out. So they don't want to move back into that zone. The other thing you can do to choose where is look where the high liquidity is. If price were to retrace and come back, it's likely not going to go lower than that. So you could even choose to put it there. But worst case scenario, you know, whilst you're taking partial profit along the way, by also moving up your stop loss, should you, for example, go to bed tonight and whilst you're asleep, you just have a big move like that, you're going to give back some unrealized profit, but you're not going to hit your stop loss at a loss. And you take something home, you know. So definitely learn to manage your trades really, really well, because those liquidation hunts, they're going to start coming when you least expect it, and they're going to start coming when the market goes into extreme greed, which I imagine we are. Let's have a look. Well, we're in extreme greed. 84 is not actually that high. 84 shows that we probably could keep going higher in this type of market. So as far as Ondo, it looks like it's come into already. It's spiked once into its high liquidation level. So I'd be careful to try and push it too much further than where it is. If we start to consolidate and show weakness, again, I'm assuming that these are short-term trades for you guys. If you're talking to me about long-term holding for the rest of the cycle, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it is my answer. Don't sell. Maybe take partial profit if you have a small account and you're trying to maximize it. But if you have allocated an amount of money to the cycle already and you've already committed that money and you're already in, don't worry about it. This is just market structure. We've got a lot longer to go. But if you're talking about a short-term trade, something like this, for example, is a 6-to-1 risk to reward already at that wick. You know, again, you'd be looking for us to potentially repeat the level. Usually price does repeat a level twice. If it gets to that level, great, you get a chance to take your profit. If it creates a lower high, signals to you weakness, and you probably want to take your profit at that point. What else? Okay, I'm going to try and talk less and do more charts, because I can see you guys have heaps of requests. So let's have a look at Link here. I don't think I have anything marked up for Link. I don't. Okay, so we're just looking at the liquidation levels for Link. Again, oh, I had bloody hair in my water. Disgusting. Again, look here. See how you can see it immediately. If you don't have this tool, this is a tool that comes with the TTC membership. There is no other way to get it. So again, I'm not someone telling you to get into it. But yeah, anyway, that's the moral of the story. Otherwise, like I said, it comes from high block. So it just means that you have to look at the data separately. So it comes from a chart like this. You look for your green areas and then you just go and mark it on your chart. Very easy, very fast. Doesn't take any time at all. It's how we used to do it. So look, we've wicked into it. We're probably going to find this on a lot of alts, that price has spiked up into a high level of liquidity and started a little bit of a retracement out of it. That doesn't mean it's over. It means that it's just picked up the first lot of orders. So remember, everything that's up here is a sell order. A liquidation point above price is a sell order. So of course, when it goes up into there, it's going to pick them up. You're going to have an initial move. So you don't react on the initial move. You wait for the follow through. The follow through will either create a lower high, signaling to you weakness, take some profit or manage your trade, or it may repeat the level, in which case you have to assess the candlesticks at the time, because if they repeat the level with strength, it's likely will break through. And if they repeat the level but continue to give wicks, again, it's just coming to pick up the leftover liquidity and we might retrace. So we're probably going to find levels not too far above the current price on a lot of your alts. 𝗟𝗲, okay, let's look at 𝗟𝗲. 𝗟𝗲's not on my list. Okay, 𝗟𝗲. What else can I see? XLM. Yeah, see, you can see it now. See how it becomes more and more obvious? Very easy way to trade, guys. Very easy way to trade. There's your liquidity. We spiked into it once. So exactly what I said to you about Link applies to Cardano. H-bar for the non-Aussies. H-bar. Whilst we are waiting for this to load up, if you have not, smash that like button. Please help me to do that right now. Hit subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And let's see, I'm a bit scared to have a look at the count because I know the haters will be unsubscribing just to bring it down. So I'm like, oh, we're at 49,668. We're getting there, guys. It would not be normal for me to get 350 subscribers in one video. So we are aiming very, very high over here. Let's have a look at H-bar. Wow, lots of liquidity in H-bar. Holy hell. This is hard. This one's hard. We have to match it up to levels. Oh, it's been a long time. Okay, let's go to the weekly for H-bar. Okay. When I look at the weekly candle right here, look at that. 50% of that weekly candle, look, it's still got 3 days to go, so keep that in mind. But about 50% of that candle is a wick, so you need to keep that in mind. Daily time frame, it's possible this creates an M formation. Yeah, it's possible. And to me, that lines up with the fact that we're looking for the market to kind of cool off soon. So yeah, I'd be looking for weakness in this. I'd be looking to take some profit if it was just a trade. A lower high somewhere around this sort of region here will probably confirm to me that weakness, because that's the highest level right there. So that is at about 3.47 to 0.34 to 0.36. If that happens and you see weakness around there, that is going to be an M formation, and that's where we'd expect it's going to start coming down for this next. But this is a lot of interest. This is a lot of interest in this one. Hello from Argentina. Hello, Esteban. What else have we got? Annie Hangout Party. Super chat. Thank you so much, Rampower. From Rampower Prime. Is Prime available on TradingView? Because if it's not, I can't chart it, and I've never heard of it. I'm guessing it's this one. I need history, so I assume Bybit would have the most history. Oh, okay. This has been around a while. Okay, I've never heard of this. I immediately can tell you it's trending nicely. So it's had its long bear market pullback. It's had accumulation with a beautiful W formation. Right here, we've had our high created, higher low, higher high. Great. Everything about this is great. It is attempting now to come into this previous red vector zone, so that might create a temporary local top. But if it did, I wouldn't worry too much. I would be waiting for it to pull back out of that zone, and as long as it held somewhere above the 250 EMA, which is this yellow and blue here, on the daily time frame, fine. Yeah, I think it will keep going, whatever this is. Render. Oh, guys, I'm going to leave this as the last one because the streams end up going for 450 years and nobody watches till the end. So, okay, this is interesting. This was also a rising bearish wedge. What I told you was similar to Doge that I'm looking out for, but it actually broke to the upside. So that can happen, and that looks like that is what did happen. We've got large wick into this previous area here. Let's have a look at the liquidity on it. Not much. No, there's not much above price. So yeah, expect probably a pullback into this, depending on how deep, you know, you've got this zone as your initial area to watch, which is 9.1 to 9.4. I mean, if it was really bad, we've got this one here, and then you've got, obviously you can see a very large yellow zone. You know, if it was, I can't imagine it being that deep, so let's not even talk about it. From where we are now to here, yeah, worst case, or not worst case because it can be worse, initially 20%, great. 20% is a good buy the dip kind of area. If the leverage flush out was really bad, the next level would be 33. Also great, no problem. Anything beyond that is a bit scary, and you have to be hands off and wait for new market structure. So that's what I'd be looking out for, guys. If you enjoyed this stream, be sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And thank you for your efforts in helping me get to 50K. I will let you know if we reach it. And don't forget to use the links in the description down below to get your trading fee rebates and get yourself into the free Discord. I will see you guys on the next one.